groups and access control. Today we are going to learn how to create and manage groups. Here in our researcher dashboard there's a button called Groups and Access Control. You have 4 options: create departments, create groups, add researchers to groups, and add participants to groups. So let's dive into it. We just click on the button Create Groups. The first one here, create departments. This is something if you registered for a university where your department has not been created, then here you can add your department. Here in my case it was already created. Here, Department of Experimental Psychology. I didn't have to do that. If you're, for example, from some other department in that same university, you can click on Add Department. So let's see how we can create groups. First of all, you can choose what the parent group of your existing group is. Imagine you will have later on 10, 20, 30 groups. It's good to just sort them and say, okay, I want to have several parent groups and then daughter groups. So let's say that the Department of Experimental Psychology should be the parent group. Yeah, and then we call this demo test group. The moment when we create add group, there are actually 2 groups created. One group for university researchers and one group for participants. Now let's make it easier. Let's call it my research group. So that would mean if I'm clicking now add group, now a group is created. And if I want to add researchers to my group, we learned in one of our previous tutorials when we set up our new study that you can actually add researchers to your to limit your the visibility of your study. So let's say we want to do that, and now we want to add researchers to my group. So now here on the left side, you see that I have 3 groups: department, my research group, and TunHub test group. So let's say my research group, and I have to know the email address of my research colleague I want to invite into TunHub, and he already or she already has to be registered at TunHub. So there's a fake account I created, and I know the email is demo@tunhub.com. Then I would add this person to my group, and voila, when I now click add to researchers, you see Angel test account, email demo@tunhub.com is part of my research group. Yeah. So first we created a group and now we added researchers to a group. If we go back to my dashboard just to show you how it works, we created, you remember we created this study here. If we edit it, and scroll down, choose your team, choose group of researchers who work in the study. Now that we created this team, here you see my research group, and then I can limit the collaboration or the visibility of the collaboration to my research group. And because there's only this one person, Angel test account, in it, then this second researcher would see my study. And there we see that there's Angel test account in it. So, but if we say, imagine the study we created, we only want to add the students of our class in it, then we can add participants to group, and then only they will see the study in their participant dashboard. Okay, so now we want to add them to my research group, and as I said in the previous tutorials, actually it's my research group in brackets PP, which means participant pool, and if we're looking here, it's my research group UR university researchers. So actually these are back in the system, we create 2 groups for that, but it shouldn't bother you at all. So, and now in order to add participants to your group, you upload a CSV file and so that you can have 30, 40, 50, 1,000 people in your participant group. How can you do that? Well, first of all, if you want to do it by yourself and can't remember what I said here, there's this question mark item, and these question marks, they always bring you to our knowledge base. And see, here's add participants to group. You can click on it, and then everything is still explained. And if you want to have an example of a CSV file, you can just click here, and then a CSV example file is downloaded so that you can just copy the structure there. And then here it's also all explained. So imagine I downloaded this demo file, and let's have a look. So here, this is the demo file, or this is the structure you should follow. It's first name, so it's CSV, it's comma separated file. So it's first name, last name, username, email, and then these are the 4 you need. So you need the email of your participant, you need the first name and last name, and you can create a username for TunHub, for the system. So there you can get creative, but you need a working email, because the system then automatically sends an email to the participant and informs him that you uploaded him into the system. The other things here, it's just an example. You remember that we had these participant criteria which were created, for example, mother tongue or gender. And imagine you have a participant pool with already predefined participant criteria. So in order for you to make your life easier, you can already add the participant criteria in here. So for example, you have mother tongue and gender, and then here it's an example: first name tester02, last name TunHub, the username would be tester02, and the email is tester02@tunhub.com. And we see that this tester, his mother tongue is German, and that his gender is male. And if you would then upload this, so you save it as a CSV file, and then you can choose, so you click here, choose file, and then you select your CSV file. Then we can actually do this here. So now I had just have the participant test CSV, and now we add this to the group. See, there we go. This tester02 TunHub, first name, last name, that's his email, and this user is now added to this group. And if this user then logs in, then his participant criteria, gender male and mother tongue German, is already pre-filled for this person. And going back to my dashboard, just to show you how this would look like, back to our study, and then we say we want, now that we've created a second group, so now if who can see your study? Now here we have my research group, University PP. There it is. So that's it. So we saw that you can use groups and access control to limit your limit the visibility to your study, but then you can also use this group and access control later on if you want to invite participants to your study. Here we're going back to the researcher dashboard, and then there's invite participants. So imagine you've set up your study now, you've set up your questionnaire now, and now you want to invite, let's stick to the group of students in your class. You want to invite them to participate in your study. And then we have here this newsletter tool. So you click invite, now create a new newsletter. And there we go. We can see that So now we can, the system asks you, to whom do you want to send this newsletter? And there we go. We don't want to send it to the Department of Experimental Psychology, but we want to send it to my research group participant pool. So we just click yes. And if you want, you can also invite your research colleagues who are also working on your study right now. See, so we're going in another tutorial into much more details about how to set up this newsletter, but for now you see that you have two options, or there are two reasons why we have groups. First of all, to limit the visibility of your study, and second, to choose this group to send mass emails to your participants. That's already the end of this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching TunHub Group and Access Control.